All right, guys, in this lesson, we're going to talk about how to find specific pitches on your keyboard instrument. And by keyboard instrument, I mean any percussion instrument that is set up like a piano or like a piano keyboard. So this would apply to xylophone, vibraphone, marimba, and similar instruments. What I've done here is I've actually labeled every key, but we need to figure out how do you find the specific notes without these labels here. Well, when I was learning how to play, I used C as my reference point, and C is right here, but on most instruments they don't have the letter written on it. So what I would always do is I would find the two flat or sharp keys that were right next to each other, and then I would go one note down, and that's where C would be. And so from C, I could find any other pitch. Going this direction, you have C, D, E, F, G, and after G, you start the alphabet over again. A, B, C, D, and so on. Going back to C, if you needed to find notes lower than this pitch, then you just go backwards. C, B, A, G, and I don't have it labeled here, but that would be F, E, and so on. So first thing I would do is find the two flat keys. One note down would be C. Same thing applies up here. Find the two flat keys. One note down is C. So this is a different octave, but the letter name that we give it is still the same. Now if this is a C, one note above that would be C sharp. But C sharp also has another name, which is also D flat. Here's D. If you're on D and you go down one pitch, then you have D flat. If you are on D and you go up one pitch, then you have D sharp. But this also has another name, E flat. There's E. If you go down one pitch, E flat. So sharp basically means that you're taking a note or a pitch and you're raising it one half step. And we'll talk about that in another video. But you're raising it just one pitch. So that's sharp. Flat means that you're lowering a note by one pitch. Now, if you're on C and you say you want to do C flat, that would actually be B because that's the next lower note, but we usually don't call this C flat. We just call it B. But if you ever hear somebody refer to a C flat, that's what we're talking about. Same idea is if we're on B and we want to make it sharp, it would actually be a C, even though we might call it a B sharp. So we do have different names for different things, but here's the way to look at it. You always start with a certain letter name, C for example, and if we're talking about C sharp, this is our reference point, and then we raise it one pitch. If we're talking about C flat, this is our reference point, and then we lower it one pitch. So after I got pretty good at finding C, then I got pretty good at finding B because I don't know, for some reason I like B. It's a nice letter. So you find the three lowered keys or sharp keys that are together, and you go up one note and you find your B. Then after that, I started memorizing where F was. So if you find those same three keys and you go down one note, there's where your F is. And then after that, I memorized where E was. And so next thing you know, I had B, C, E, F memorized, and then finding anything else from there was pretty easy. Just like anything, if you want to learn the pitches on a keyboard, lots of repetition. So ideally, you wouldn't have the notes written on your keyboard and you would rehearse this at home, maybe with somebody who knows the pitches better than you do, and have them call out letter names. For instance, say, okay, find all the C's. And then they would say, okay, now find all the B flats. Find all the F sharps. Find all the G's. So the idea here is you're just repeating it so that whenever you're looking at sheet music, for instance, or if somebody tells you to play a certain pitch, you're not struggling to find it. I would say this is probably the most important lesson on keyboard, is knowing the notes before you can really do anything else.